Hello, and today we'll start Chapter 2 of Temptation's Ballad. Chapter 2 Vulnerability and Risk. Marauders District, Bonebreaker Mercenary Company, nighttime. The night was quiet and still at the Bonebreaker Mercenary Company. Quite unusual. After many long hours, partying and drinking with his papa and the other mercenaries, Cole had retired to the attic in a happy daze of exhaustion and quickly fell into a deep slumber. His chest rose and fell softly in the dim room while he slept. It was little wonder that Cole failed to notice the dim red glow in his pocket as the stolen ruby pulsed with life. Wisps of infernal magic flickered gently across the room and watched over Cole's unconscious body, gently probing its unguarded mind. A low voice suddenly rumbled through the night. Its deep tone reverberated through Cole's chest like a dark, rich ocean wave. Cole the Bonebreaker, are you worthy of my temptation? Cole mumbled obliviously in his sleep and rolled over. More wisps of infernal energy spilled out of Cole's pocket and surrounded him in a fog of red. The deep rumbling voice leaned closer with an amused hum. Temptation is a decision. In the heat of the moment, taunted by others' expectations and your own desire, you must choose. What do you value more? Is it within that moment's decision that one's truth is revealed? Infernal magic waited at the back of Cole's mind as the voice laughed. I wonder what I will find within you. Detect thoughts. Cole was suddenly in free fall. He gasped and flailed aimlessly as incoherent memories and voices flew past him in his descent. Cole squeezed his eyes shut and shook his head wildly. He was clearly dreaming. Nothing makes sense right now. But this felt much too lucid for a normal dream. Suddenly, everything stopped. A single memory clawed to the surface with his mind and flooded his senses. He was still a young boy on the day he was injured. Still young at the age of 14 and still full of dreams of becoming the greatest warrior in the land and a worthy son of the great marble Bonebreaker. Cole had been fed tales of his father's great deeds throughout his entire youth, and the thought of living up to even a fraction of Papa's legend filled him with utter excitement. One day, he would be just as great as Papa and continue his grand tale of adventure. Perhaps Cole would become just as legendary. Such was youth, filled to the brim with optimism and misplaced hopes for the future. Then came the injury. Cole wished that the injury occurred due to a great battle, maybe during an intense sparring match. That would have made for an interesting story at the very least. But no. The injury happened during the most basic training exercises, his first training exercise. Calling it an exercise at all was being generous. That morning, young Cole had rushed into the Bonebreaker Guild's training room with giddy anticipation. It would be his first time wielding a weapon. He had chosen an axe just like Papa. Then Cole promptly spent about 10 minutes struggling to even lift it off the ground. No matter how he heaved and threw his way about, his skinny little arms couldn't lift the battle axe. After a while, he tried lifting a smaller axe, only to be met with the same result. Then a smaller size, and then an even smaller one. Finally, he managed to wield a tiny throwing axe with relative ease, though it still felt rather heavy in his grip. Fortunately, Papa was away on mercenary business that morning and wasn't there to see Cole's embarrassing bubbling. Cole spent one short hour in the sparring room that day. Hamlet directed him on basic weapons drills, proper grip, and battle stances. Cole followed his instructions enthusiastically, paying little mind to the growing strain and soreness that began blooming in his forearms and calves. Pain was just weakness leaving the body after all. He would never become a great warrior like Papa without a little soreness, but the pain kept growing. By the end of the hour, young Cole could barely stand. Hammers found him curled up on the floor in a mess of quivering limbs and distressed sobs. The rest of the day was a painful blur to young Cole. He remembered Hammer's soothing words and comforting grip on it as the older hyena carried him across town. They had rushed to the nearest healer in the city. Hammers got into a squabble with several other patients as he fought his way to the front of the line. A long and agonizing examination and treatment followed. Cole remembered the healers probing his pained limbs with magic while pouring bitter herb mixtures down his throat. The healer and Hammer spoke in hushed tones while Cole lay unmoving on a bed and waited for the pain to subside. "Well, did you find out what went wrong?" The healer spoke hesitantly. "Our examination showed your son's body to be unexpectedly feeble." There were slight tears along his arm and leg muscles from what sounds like simple, lightly strenuous activity. "He will recover from this easily, but we advise you to avoid repeating these activities on a frequent basis." Cole shot up from his bed and immediately slumped back down as pain racked viciously through his limbs. "Wait, what about my mercenary training? How will I?" Cole's voice died in his throat at the pitying expression on the healer. "I'm very sorry, young man. You mean I can never become a warrior like Papa? Your father tells me that you struggled through a severe illness as an infant, did you not? While you have recovered, it appears the disease had a lasting effect on your body. I see this happen very often in children who fall ill during their early developmental stages. You are very small for a boy your age. Your muscles are particularly weak and fragile, likely from stunted growth. While your body may grow slightly more resilient with age, it is unlikely you will ever grow to a state where you can become an effective warrior. As your healer, I strongly recommend you pursue a different career." Young Cole's voice cracked as the hopelessness of the situation dawned upon him. But you said I'll probably grow better with age. Is there a chance? Young man, please think about this. As a mercenary, you will undoubtedly face perilous combat situations with many able-bodied warriors. While your body may grow slightly more resilient to the strain, others will still hold the advantage over you. The likelihood of you dying needlessly in battle is almost a guarantee. I recommend you leave such tasks to more capable men." Cole fell silent, his head slopping back limply. His chest lurched painfully as he tried to wrap his mind around his situation. All his dreams and hopes vanished in an instant. A gentle, comforting hand rested on his shoulder. Hammers leaned close with a sympathetic smile. "It's okay, kiddo. It's not the end of the world. You don't have to be a warrior to be a great man in life. Your papa and I will." Hot anger flashed across Cole's chest. He whipped his head around and glared at Hammers furiously. "That's it? You give up on my chances of becoming a warrior just like that? I thought you believed in me." "No, Cole, that's not what I meant." Cole hardly remembered what Hammers said. Only a deep well of frustration and fury filled his young mind as he lashed out at Hammers. Cruel words and blame spilled from his throat while angry tears ran down his cheeks. It was unfair, all of it. Unfair. Cole also knew it was unfair of him to pour all his resentment onto Hammond's, but it felt better to continue yelling than pause and dwell upon the pair, to dwell upon the pit of despair that filled his chest. Cole let out a gasp and his eyes snapped open. The world around him was still dark in the depths of this lucid dream. What in the world was happening to him? A deep, sinister voice chuckled, the sound reverberating in every direction. A what, huh? And filled with such saber doubt. You will make the perfect host for me. Cole snarled and clawed at the nothingness around him. Get the fuck out of my head. I'm a friend. I can help you in your plight. You wish to become a great warrior like a father before you. You seek power. I can provide. All that you desire could be within your grasp. All you need to do is accept my pact. Who are you? The voice chuckled again. You may call me. A loud bang from downstairs shook the entire Bonebreaker Guild building cavern. Cole let out a scream and nearly fell off his hammock bed. His heart thumped against his chest at a mile a minute as his eyes darted through his surroundings in a panic. It was just a dream. A rather unpleasant dream, but a dream nevertheless. Cole took a deep breath to recollect himself. Maybe he shouldn't have drunk so many ales with Papa last night. Another sharp bang echoed through the entire building and shook Cole in his hammock. Papa must be sparring with the other mercenary men in the training room again. Did they have to do this so early in the morning? Cole let out a yawn and scratched his dazed head. Time to drag himself through another day, he supposed. Huh? Cole blinked and let out a yelp at the sensation of something slithering on his lap. The small ball python that lay curled up on his lap looked up at him expectantly and let out a tiny hiss. I see you are finally awake, young mortal. Cole stared, and then stared a little more. This tiny snake was talking to him. The fuck are you? The ball python wheeled his head back, utterly offended. Puny mortal, you should feel honored to be graced by the great temptation demon Malice. Bow before me in so proper respect, I may still consider granting you mine. Cole yelled down the hall. Papa, a vermin got into the house again. From downstairs, Marvel let out a laugh and shouted through the thin walls of the building. Another one. Just squish it and throw it out the window. Wait, the poor thing isn't hurting anyone. Let's scoop it up with a cup and let it outside. Cole glanced down at the wriggling snake and his whip with a shrug. Well, you heard Papa. Wait. Mercy, I beg mercy. You wouldn't dare harm one as powerful and fearsome as I, wouldn't you? Cole hesitated before dropping the writhing python back onto his bed. You sure talk big for an itty-bitty little snake. Insolent mortal. I'm simply weakened after being summoned into the material plane. Had I retained my true form, you would be shaking in your boots for my might. Cole squinted at the little screaming snake as he tried to wrap his head around the situation. You're a demon, or maybe just delusional. How did you even get into my room? That is simple. I wired through that ruby that you stole yesterday. You see, Cole immediately patted his pockets. Wait, where's the ruby anyway? Do you fucking eat it? You fool. I am the ruby. as though to demonstrate the black python curled up into a tiny ball. In a puff of wet smoke, he transformed into a small blood-red ruby. In another puff, Malice returned to his snake form with a fluorescent grin as though awaiting applause from his little trick. Cole groaned and massaged his temple with a grimace. I just wanted to bring home a pretty gem as a gift for Papa. Now I gotta deal with a pest problem. Any chance I can separate you from the ruby, like with a knife? Malice immediately recoils in horror. Wait, I can unconditionally connect. I'm unconditionally connected to the ruby. You wouldn't want to break such a valuable gem, would you, dear mortal? I don't know. You sound like more trouble than I'm willing to put up with. Wow, these mortals are a lot less fearful and groveling than my brother made them out to be. Wait a second. You're a tiny demon snake living in my ruby. Does that mean the other 3 rubies have little snakes in them too? How dare you? I'm no little snake. I'm the great and powerful temptation demon Malice. Yeah, you don't look like a Malice. I think it's gonna call you Noodle or something. The python let out a melodramatic wail. How dare you degrade me with such a cute nickname? This wasn't how my first interaction with a mortal was supposed to go. You were supposed to grovel at my feet and worship the very air I breathe. Cole stared at the snake incredulously. Feet? I had feet before I left the infernal plane, okay? As much as it pains me to admit, I am only so tiny and weakened because I'm the youngest of my siblings. This is my first trip to the material plane. I suppose my inexperience has left me in this sorry state. Thank goodness we got separated. If my siblings saw me like this, I'd never hear the end of it. Cole scratched his chin thoughtfully. Robert Prince cast his order a crown with 4 demons in it. Things are starting to sound a little fishy. You and your demon pals better not be planning to cause trouble. Mouse's head drooped onto the hammock with embarrassment. Well, I'm afraid I was a little too excited to travel to the material plane for the first time and didn't really pay attention when my siblings were explaining the mission. Oh, great. Do not mock me. I remember a few things at the very least. We are to infiltrate this snooty city and absorb negative emotions from you puny mortals. Your emotions will feed us and become a wonderful source of infernal energy. Speaking of which, you, tiny mortal, you will form a pact with me. As a temptation demon, a conflicted mess of a person like you will make the perfect host for me. With you at my beck and call, I shall return to my true form in no time. No thanks, I don't make deals with shady talking noodles. But I can grant you power, fame, glory. You wish to gain the approval of your father, do you not? With my help. Yeah, I don't think Papa would be very impressed if I grew strong from demon magic. Anyway, time to squish you. Please tell me you turn back into a ruby after you die. I was hoping to pawn a decent price off that gem. Cole reached for a nearby butter knife. Wait. Malice immediately shrieked, and his eyes flashed a blinding red. An accurate wisp of infernal magic shot across the room. Cole winced as a flicker of heat reverberated through his chest. It felt as though he had been smacked with a hot water bottle. The hell was that? We are now connected, puny mortal. We are now connected, puny mortal. Any harm or sensation one of us feels, the other shall feel as well. That includes pain. You shan't get rid of me so easily. Cole scowled and gave the snake an experimental pinch. Sure enough, he felt a light pinch squeeze his own shoulder. He let out a frustrated groan and fell back onto his hammock. Ugh, talk about a raw deal. I just wanted a gym, not a snake babysitting job. You're stuck with me forever now, rest assured. Sooner or later, I shall tempt you into a contract with me. Just you wait. A sharp chime suddenly echoed outside, ringing throughout the entire city. As usual, the axial clock tower struck on the hour as the city's public timekeeping system. Counted the number of chimes, he nearly leaped out of his bed in sudden realization. It's 9 o'clock already? I was supposed to meet up with Sid at the town square. Damn it. Why do you have to prat on for so long? Cole counted the number of chimes and nearly leaped out of his bed in sudden realization. It's 9 o'clock already? I was supposed to meet up with Sid at the town square. Damn it, why do you have to prattle on for so long? Ah, you have a place to be, excellent. I've always wanted to explore the material plane and all its exciting reaches. You will make an excellent host and tour guide, puny mortal. Cole yelled as a python casually slithered into his belt pocket. Wow, surprisingly roomy in here. Don't just hide in other people's pants without asking. You can't tell me what to do, puny mortal. Now to this town square post haste. Cole groaned for what felt like the umpteenth time that morning as he dragged himself out of bed. What a bossy little shit. Town Square Plaza. The morning sun felt pleasantly warm against his fur as Cole leisurely strolled across the city of Axia. His new snake companion was enthusiastically chatty as he rolled on cold soda, asking questions about everything he saw. It truly felt as though he was leading an awestruck tourist through town as he not so patiently answered each of the little python's inquiries. Their conversation trailed somewhere along the lines of, yes, that's a restaurant. People eat food there. Have you never eaten before? Yeah, people need to eat food and drink water to not drop dead. No, I never died before. How the fuck do you think I'm still standing here? As the two of them rounded a corner to town square proper, Malice marveled at the crowd of villagers strolling through the streets. Look at all these mortals rushing about their lives. Y'all must be in such a panic to savor what little time you have, or like us greater demons. How long is your lifespan? 5 years, maybe 6 if you exercise. Cole snorted and playfully poked the snake on the nose. You really have no idea how mortals work, do you? I told you this was my first time visiting the material plane. Everything here is new. Everything here is so new and exciting. The infernal plane is just a mass of pure chaos, and most of that spills over from your world. It's not exactly much to look at. There's an eternity of stuff. Everything in the mortal world moves so fast in comparison to people in the mortal world are always such a rush. Malice blinked and gestured across the street. Like that one over there. Look at her dancing about in such a stress-filled panic. I must admire you mortals for making the most of what short lives you have. Cole squinted at a familiar dancing individual in question. A familiar knight was rustling from door to door to every shop, begging for the attention of anyone who would listen. Their stance was haggard, and they looked utterly exhausted. They clearly had been at this time They clearly have been at this for a long time. The knight looked up and made eye contact with Cole from across the street. Cole? Oh, hey, Natty. How's it going? Cole paused. Wow, you look like shit. Artemi grimaced and welded her temples wearily. Good morning to you as well, Cole. Forgive my appearance. I'm afraid I have been up all night performing my task. Night? It's like 9 o'clock now. Dazed Artemi glanced at the sky in surprise, as though just realizing it was daytime. Ah, upon close inspection, Artemi looked like an overworked mess. There were dark bags of fatigue under her eyes, and her hair was unkempt and messy. She stood slightly hunched over and wore a drained expression that received little to no sleep. It was surprising that she was still lucid in such a state. Artemi cleared her throat. Cole suddenly realized he was staring and awkwardly averted his gaze. The tension from their little argument yesterday still hung in the air as they each waited for the other to speak. Listen, do you want to go grab some tea with me? I know a pretty good cafe here. I'm afraid I must decline. My duties remain unfinished. I have much to answer for, especially due to my failures yesterday. Oh, come on. You're not gonna get anything done when you're an exhausted mess like this. A little rest does wonders for the mind. Artemi's tense shoulders slumped slightly with a hint of hesitation. But, hey, if you didn't manage to finish your duties when you're wide awake, you still ain't gonna finish it when you're half dead. Come on, it'll be my treat. I still owe you for saving my ass yesterday at the fighting ring. Finally, Artemi let out a sigh and nodded. I suppose it would be rude of me to ask. Thank you, Sir Cole. Town Square had a number of excellent outdoor cafes. Each of them were often filled with jolly company and fresh steaming tea. The customers around them were sneaking an occasional glance at Artemi and whispering among themselves. Perhaps it was unwise for the creators chosen to make such a casual appearance. Artemi had never been at a cafe before and shuffled awkwardly in her seat. Cole had to patiently explain to her multiple times that no, you don't have to get up and bow at the waitress every time she comes to refill your tea. Artemi sank back down into her chair and opted to bury her face in her teacup to avoid eye contact with all the chuckling cafe goers around her. Anyway, that's why I have been up and about all night since our departure at the fighting ring. His Highness had requested that I focus my efforts in retrieving the 4 missing rubies of his crown. And the Bishop of the Grand Cathedral insisted that failure was not an option, lest I lose my title as the creator's chosen. Cole nearly snorted piping hot tea up his nose. What, she threatened to demote you over a handful of jewelry? The prince is fucking rich for crying out loud. A few gems is like nothing to him. Watch your language, Cole. It is a matter of honor. The greatest chosen cannot be expected to lead the church in my history stained with failure. I'm surprised the church would be so harsh with you. I always imagined the greatest chosen would be a bit more pampered and spoiled. A hint of guilt weighed over Cole's shoulders as he finished his tea. Tell you what don't me and Sid help you out on this mission of yours? The two of us need more adventuring work anyhow. Plus you have the entire Bonebreaker Mercenary Guild behind you. My papa is a whatever Hamas knows his way around the city like the back of his hand. He's got a lot of connections, both state and official. His network's gonna have a way easier time tracking down the rubies than you running around like a headless chicken. I suppose you have a point. Artemi stares at him hesitantly. It would be unwise for me to look a gift horse in the mouth, but why are you so willing to aid me? Yesterday you gave off a rather aloof outlook. Well, I guess I feel a little guilty. Not that it's my fault or anything. You're the one who fucked up. I'm happy to help you out since I'm just a nice person. Artemi looked utterly unimpressed. Cole cleared his throat and quickly changed the subject. Anyway, why isn't the church providing you with more support on your mission? Don't you have any friends at the cathedral you can ask for help? Artemi's shoulders slumped as she frowned at her teacup. I never managed to make many friends at home. Everyone in the cathedral seems to keep their distance from me. Even all the townsfolk I spoke with this morning seemed a little nervous in my presence. Am I doing something wrong? Cole rolled his eyes and signaled for a refill for his tea. I mean, you did barge into every establishment asking real questions about missing rubies. Of course, people are gonna get weirded out. Artemi's ears drooped self-consciously. That doesn't explain why the people I grew up with in the church also feel wary about around me. It sounds pretty normal. The Creator's chosen after all. People say you'll save the world from a horrible fate or whatever. Most people would want to stay out of that nonsense. Does my title make me intimidating? Kinda. But you and Sir Sid certainly did not treat me as such when we met yesterday. Well, it's kind of hard to be intimidated by a hyperventilating web on a jail cell floor. Artemi took another gulp of tea with a wistful expression. I certainly hope that I do not find. I certainly hope I do not have to be arrested every time I try to make friends. See, here's the thing. You're the Creator's chosen one. You're all the way up here, right? Cole waved a hand above his head dramatically. The legendary hero destined to save the world or something. That's a pretty big deal. Everyone else lives down here. They're not worried about existential threats or world-saving nonsense. They're just normal, city-going folks with jobs and family stuff to worry about. Artemi frowned and shuffled in her seat self-consciously. That's not very different from my own daily life. Exactly. Sometimes it's hard for people to remember you're a normal, nervous wreck just like everybody else. I suppose I see the logic in that, though I fail to see a way to change people's minds. Oh, that's easy. Fancy playing a card game? Artemi blinked in surprise as Cole pulled a deck of cards out of his loincloth and began shuffling it with an impressive flourish. How in the world does he fit so much within such a tiny scrap of cloth? A card game? I'm supposed to be searching for his Highness's missing rubies. What will the people think when they see me shirking my duty? They're gonna start thinking, oh look, the Creator's chosen knows how to sit and have fun once in a while. You gotta relax sometime, right? Otherwise you're just gonna come off as a mindless workaholic knight who only thinks about duty and whatnot. Come on, the day's still young. A game or two won't hurt. Artemi grimaced doubtfully as Cole dealt her a pile of cards with practiced ease. She noticed several passersby and streetgoers in the town square glanced in their direction curiously. It wasn't every day you see the Creator's chosen lounging leisurely at a cafe. She collected her cards hesitantly. I suppose a minor distraction wouldn't hurt. Cole gave her a slight smile. You won't regret it. Artemi let out a wail of disbelief as Cole won yet another round. What do you mean I lost again? How exactly do spades beat diamonds? The two of them had been playing until they lost track of time. Cole had beat Artemi 7 rounds in a row without a single defeat. It was absolutely ridiculous. Was he just really bad at this? Artemi scowled and tried her best to look displeased, but she was clearly having fun nonetheless. The other people in the cafe glanced at their table with amusement as Artemi tossed down her hand yet again, sending cards flying into the air. Ah, so even the creator's chosen can be beaten. Do not mock me, Cole. You only won because I am still unfamiliar with the game's rules. How in the world do you have such good luck? Ain't nothing like it about it. It's all skill, baby. Anyway, if we tally up on my winnings, it looks like you owe me 6 gold pieces. Pay out 90. Pay up? You didn't mention this was gambling. Card games aren't fun unless there are some stakes involved. Everybody knows that. I see. I'm afraid I don't have any money on me. However, what? Nothing? What about that big sack of gold I paid you yesterday? All my earnings and rewards go directly to the church. Her Excellency says that the creators chosen should dedicate their life to the good of the world and avoid the distractions of material goods. What? That just sounds like you're getting the short end of the stick. You should at least earn a bit and enjoy your life a little, right? Everything you describe about your home life just sounds kind of shitty. Artemi glanced up defensively. Do not mistake this for mistreatment. The church still provides me with all my necessities and needs. I'm happy how things are. The church simply leads us to live an honorable and disciplined life. And this is the same church that you said you didn't have any friends in? Well, Cole suddenly felt a weight in his pocket shift. He nearly scrambled out of his seat as Malice slithered onto his shoulder with a hiss. Greetings, Shining One. I hate to be a tattletale, but this puny mortal has been casting minor illusion on its cards the entire time to win. Hey, get back in my pocket, you little shit. I knew it, Cole. You were cheating the entire time. Artemi abruptly paused, her mind slowly processing the sight of a talking snake on Cole's shoulder. Listen, I can explain. Amazing, Cole. You've gone and found yourself a magical familiar. I'm happy to see you grow more comfortable with showing your magic openly. Shh, keep your voice down. I just found this little guy sneaking into my room. I didn't summon it or anything. Anyway, his name is Noodle. What? That is certainly not my name. Artemi bowed her head with a grin. It is an honor to meet you, little Noodle. This is utter humiliation. Curses. The small python scoffed at Artemi and flourished his head frivolously. And you, how dare you reduce me to the status of familiar? This puny mortal is my new servant, and I, his almighty master. Young lady, are you also interested in joining my horde? I'm certain I can make room for one more. Although, Malice flit out a tongue and were cold in disgust. What a disgusting sin. You're absolutely swimming in celestial magic. Cole grabbed the stick and roughly stuffed it back into his pocket. Unhand me, you vile mortal. Alrighty, back in my pocket you go. Chatty little thing, ain't he? You know, they say that familiars' attitudes often reflect the egos of their masters. Excuse you, I'm nothing like this little turd. A small bell suddenly rang at the entrance of the cafe, signaling the arrival of another customer. The two of them paid little attention to the newcomer until they approached their table with a cold, hard stare. Artemi felt a shadow loom over her seat. She turned around in time to meet the stern glare of her mother. Your Excellency, what are you doing here? I was simply passing through town square when I caught sight of you here. You, the greatest chosen, a holy knight of the church, waste your precious time playing cards games at a cafe. Then my warnings last night failed to penetrate that thick skull of yours? Or are you looking forward to throwing away your title? The entire cafe grew dead quiet. Artemi suddenly appeared very small as he spoke to the bishop in a quiet voice. No, your Excellency, I assure you I spent the entire night searching for the missing rubies. I was simply taking a moment to collect myself. More than a mere moment, from the looks of it. What kind of impression does this give the people of Axia when they see the Creator's chosen blatantly shirking her duties? Artemi go. My deepest apologies. I will see to it that this doesn't happen again. Cole glanced between the two church members awkwardly. Hey, ma'am, cut her some slack, will you? She literally worked herself to the bone all night. Everyone needs a break once in a while. The bishop saw Cole a sharp, demeaning scowl. This is none of your business. Keep your nose away from where it does not belong. Cole winced. All right, geez. The bishop returned her withering gaze to Artemi. Really, Artemi? Why must you further sully the church's reputation by associating yourself with such questionable company? Sitting together with a man like this. Katrina gestured dismissively at Cole as though he were a mosquito that flew into her tea. At that moment, something snapped in Artemi. Her meek expression suddenly hardened into a fierce glare as she stood up defensively. You may question my abilities as you like, your Excellency, but I will not stand for insults towards my companions. I assure you that despite his appearance, Cole is a man of good merit. Cole was taken aback. He waited quietly for a psych moment when the punchline finally hit, but none came. Artemi and the bishop stood glaring at each other heatedly. A silent tension hung thick in the air, and everyone in the cafe watched them breathlessly. Several long seconds ticked by that felt like years. Cole noticed Artemi's tense shoulders quiver slightly while standing against the bishop. Katrina finally spoke, her voice a low, dangerous hiss. You dare raise your voice against the Grand Bishop in public? The nerve. The bubbling frustration in Cole's chest rose to a breaking point. He quickly leaned back and discreetly snapped his fingers under the table, sparks of elusive magic flickering between his fingertips. Suddenly, the silence was pierced by an embarrassingly wet splurting sound whipping sharply through the cafe like a shriek. A very unhealthy, very wet shriek. It was more of a very drawn-out splat, to be honest. Everyone froze, heads turned towards the source of the sound, with everyone staring at Bishop Katrina with awkward fascination. Her face turned an uncomfortable red as she noticed all the people gazing at her. What are you all looking at? That wasn't me. Oh, dearie me. It appears our good bishop isn't feeling well today. You best return home and take care of yourself, ma'am. Cole leaned back and casted prestidigitation under the table again, followed quickly by a minor illusion. A disgusting stink suddenly filled the cafe. Many of the customers wrinkled their noses and covered their faces with disgust. Several gagged and pointed behind Bishop Katrina with a laugh. Look! A large brown stain painted the back of Katrina's otherwise perfectly white robe. Katrina whipped around and tried to cover herself, her face red with indignant fury. What manner of trick is this? This is utterly juvenile. This is some sort of illusion. I swear to you all that my woes are unsoiled. Artemi just stared at her mother's tantrum, utterly stupefied. Should she help her or? Katrina turned towards Cole and snarled furiously, though it was hard to take her seriously when she was busy covering up her butt stains with her hands. You! I know you are responsible for this somehow. I will not stand for such humiliation. Cole casually took a sip of his tea and wrinkled his nose. Ooh, that stench. Ma'am, I'm going to have to politely ask you to take a step back. A waitress awkwardly approached their table. Excuse me, Your Excellency, but I'm afraid I must ask you to leave. You are disturbing the other customers of our establishment. Katrina's face somehow turned even redder with indignant fury. You will be punished for this, mark my words. Finally, she left the cafe with a huff. Artemi watched her mother disappear without another word. She turns towards Cole with a strange mix of a half-hearted smile and a guilty grimace. Cole, I know you mean well, but you mustn't torment my mother so. Cole spat out his tea. Wait, that's your mom? What kind of asshole makes her kid call her your excellency? Cole, such language. Her excellency means well. She's probably stressed out from all the work she dedicates to the church. She just has an image to uphold. Yeah, the image of an asshole. Plenty of stressful parents manage to mean well without being an utter dick about it. You gotta stand up for yourself sometime. Do you stand up for yourself when you disagree with your parents? Well, the little bell at the cafe's entrance rang again as a breathless Sid rushed inside. His eyes lit up when he caught sight of Cole and Artemi. Yo, how did you guys see that lady that just sprinted by? You, yo, or you, did you guys see that lady that just sprinted by? I think the Grand Bishop just sat herself in public. Artemi let out a groan and buried her face in her hands. But maybe I should go home and apologize. No. You come with us to the Bonebreaker Guild. We gotta help you out with your mission, right? And hey, good morning, Sid. You're late. Cole cheerfully greeted Sid with a firm slap on the back, though their height difference led to the slap landing directly on the badger's ass. Sid yelled and nearly knocked over the table. Hey, good morning to you too, boss. Artemi glanced between the two of them curiously. Is this a variation of a high five? How strange. And anyway, are we going to the Bonebreaker Guild to start my training today? I can't believe I'll be meeting Morrow for the first time. I'm kind of shaking from the anticipation. Don't worry, Papa's a real swell guy once you get to know him. Oh, and Artie here is going to join us. Our next big assignment is helping her find those missing rubies from yesterday. Sid's eyes lit up, and he shook Artemi's hand gleefully. Really? That's great to hear. It's an honor to continue working with you, Miss Chosen. Please, just call me Artemi. There's no need for such formality amongst friends. I can't believe this. We're staying as a team. Oh, speaking of which, Sid scratched his head and glanced away bashfully. This is kind of embarrassing, but could you guys do me a favor? Of course, I would be honored to aid my friends. Depends. What do you have in mind? You guys are free later tonight, right? This is gonna sound super embarrassing, but my parents wanted to meet the two of you. They sounded super excited when I told them about yesterday and wanted to treat you guys to lunch or something like that. Cole and Artemi exchanged surprised glances before laughing sheepishly. Oh, you folks sound pretty sweet. Of course we'll come. Can't say no to free food and all. Artemi fidgeted with her gloves self-consciously in the gold. She almost looked somewhat intimidated. I don't know. My social abilities are still somewhat lacking. I might not live up to your family's standards. This is a job interview. There's no need to get worked up. My parents are super chill. They just wanted to make sure I wasn't hanging around crazy people. A fox. Very well. I shall do my best to prove my worth. Thank you for inviting me to your abode. Artemi bowed deeply yet again. At this point, all the customers at the cafe had grown accustomed to the sight and paid her no mind. But like I said, it's not a job interview. Cole sweated and motioned to the cafe waiter for the bill. Anyway, we can visit your parents' place after our training session at the Bonebreakers. If we're gonna have a meet the parents' day, you might as well meet my papa first. Let's head out. Marauders District, Bonebreaker Mercenary Company, noontime. And welcome to my crib. Cole served the front doors open to reveal the Bonebreaker Guild bustling with activity and drunk mercenaries. Dozens of men in armor in various states of dress let out shouts to welcome Cole home as he walks inside. Artemi and Sid followed closely behind, gaping at the rowdy and disorganized sight. Cole, we must have arrived at the wrong address somehow. This is an unsupervised tavern. Hey, don't let Papa hear you say that. He's still super proud buying and renovating this old sack into our headquarters. Sid sadly waved at the laughing mercenaries and admired the various weapons ebbed into the bar walls and tables. Now, this is just like those bar tales. The Bonebreaker's reputation is spot on. He blinked and suddenly realized most of the mercenaries were wearing rather revealing loincloths and harnesses, similar to Cole. Sid flushed and shuffled behind Artemi like a timid child. Is there a dress code that I'm supposed to follow, or? Nope, Papa let us wear whatever we want. He does encourage us to leave a striking impression, though, if you know what I mean. Artemi stared at the men at the bar with concern. Discipline is rather lax here. There's a horrifically unhealthy amount of alcohol at such an early hour. Papa's a pretty laid-back guy. The boys work real hard most of the time, so he lets them relax and party hard when they have the time. That's the point. What's the point of all that effort if you're not gonna enjoy yourself later, right? I suppose I see the logic in that. Y'all need to relax. You're gonna have a great time here, I guarantee it. Cole laughed and gave them both friendly slaps on the back before approaching the bar. Hey boys, how's it going? Y'all know where Papa or Hammers are right now? One of the mercenaries greeted Cole with a buzzed chuckle. Oh, I saw them heading to the supply closets a little earlier. The captain was getting real flirty with Hammers. The usual shit, you know. Cole scowled and let out a groan. The supply closets, they're not seriously. Did Papa forget that he promised to help train my new adventuring party today? Probably. You know how your old man gets when he's in the mood. Wasn't the family, eh? The men laughed and gave Cole a good-natured hair tussle. Sid and Artemi approached Cole awkwardly. Is something the matter, Cole? Cole muttered under his breath in annoyance. Nope, everything's fine. Y'all just hang out here for a bit. I'll go find Papa. Meanwhile, in a small supply closet in a back hallway, low grunts and moans echoed through the narrow walls. Hammers furrowed his brow and tried his best to stay on topic as Morrow laid on top of him in their usual morning rut. This rough thrust against his hips made it hard to think straight, however. I'll tell you that you're overthinking things again, Lovey. If Cole wants to tell me something, he'll tell me. I've never given my boy a hard time before. Yeah, but you have to understand that you've got a rather big personality. Hell yeah, I do. Honest. Okay, I'm being serious. Sometimes I feel like you're just talking alcohol instead of really listening, you know? It's hard to say no to you when You're being so aggressively supportive. Alright, being supported ain't a bad thing. Yes, but communication is a two-way street. Goes a good kid and he loves you to death. He'd do anything to make you happy, you know. That includes hiding the stuff from you that he thinks will disappoint you, even the tiniest things. Just promise me you'll ever talk with him, like I asked for conversations instead of your usual rambling of, my darling boy, I'm so proud of you. Alrighty, fine, I'll give it some thought. Now let's save this conversation for a better time, yeah? I want to make you come at least twice before we get to work today. Hammers lets out a squeal as a particularly hard thrust widened into his prostate, making him see stars. His warm body melted against Marvel's weight as the larger hyena continued pounding into him relentlessly. He wasn't going to last much longer. The closet door suddenly flew open with a slam. The two hyena dads glanced up to see Cole glaring at them, flabbergasted. Oh, hey, boy. How's the morning been? Mo let out a laugh and continued casually thrusting away. Amos buried his face in his hands and struggled to not spontaneously die from embarrassment. We'll kill you to knock. Why y'all even down here? You have a bedroom. The only bedroom in this entire building, in fact. Marvel let out a playful growl and petted Hamster's distressed ears. You know my policy, boy. I do my utmost to stand on the same level as the rest of my men. That include fucking the supply closets just like everybody else. Marvel's overzealous declaration reverberated through the building's thin walls. Roars and hollers of agreement and support from the drunk mercenaries echoed from the main lobby of the Bonebreaker Guild. Marvel's grin widened as his glass eye twinkled proudly. His thrust never broke pace as he continued speaking. See, boy, this is what it means to be a great leader. You gotta be part of the team. Right, yep, totally understand. Speaking of teams, did you forget that you promised to help train my new party members? Marvel's hips stopped abruptly and his ears drooped with realization. Ah, shit, I did see that, didn't I? How drunk was I when you ask? Hammers elbowed Marvel from underneath him. I reminded you this morning, you big oaf. Did you? I don't remember that. Hammers rolled his eyes with an indignant grumble. You were too busy flirting and grubbing my ass. Then you dragged me here for a quickie, even though there was still paperwork I needed to finish. Papa, you always say it's a quickie, but you always end up going at it forever. Marvel scratched his head awkwardly. Yeah, sorry, my boy. We'll probably be at this for a while. You mind coming back with your crew in about an hour? I promise you I'll get the sparring room set up by then. Carl groaned and rolled his eyes. Fine, you two have fun, I guess. With a huff, he slammed the door shut. Levy, you're not mad at me, are you? We're putting a lock on that fucking door. When Cole returned to the main lobby, he found Artemi and stood in awe as they watched one of the Bonebreaker mercenaries juggling 6 unsheathed daggers with ease. Another mercenary was making moves on Sid and offering to teach him his sword-swallowing trick. Cole sighed as he approached him. Huh? Why would I need to take off my... Sid caught sight of Cole and waved enthusiastically. Oh, hey, boss. Did you find Marvel yet? Cole snorted. Yep, found him. Papa's a little busy, though. We're gonna visit your parents first. Really? Right now? Cole tapped his foot impatiently. Yes, right now. Y'all ready to go yet? One of the mercenaries at the bar let out a disappointed grumble. I was gonna steal this new fella a few of my tricks. I was gonna steal this new fella a few of my tricks. I was also looking forward to learning this sword swallowing technique. It sounds fascinating. The mercenary men all chuckled to themselves and patted Artemi on the shoulder sympathetically. Sorry, sweetheart, I'm afraid you don't have the right equipment for it. Huh? Hey, y'all, back off a little, will ya? You gotta scare off my new crew. Don't even worry about it, boss. Everyone here has been super nice. I agree, your co-workers have been most accommodating. I'm looking forward to learning from them in the future. Cole shot his fellow bonebreakers a withering look, and we met with a wave of snickers. Wow, Cole, how did you end up with such a sweet and wholesome crew? I almost feel bad for them being here. No need for that. We're leaving now. A loud farewell howl suddenly reverberated from the supply closets, and almost stood the building in sheer value. Sarah and Artemi stared towards the back hallways in bewilderment. All the Bonebreaker mercenaries were utterly unfazed, as though this were a daily occurrence. What was that? That would be Papa. Is he okay? He sounds hurt. Oh, he is fine. Anyway, come on, let's go. We're leaving. But surely we should check and see if he's okay. Nope. We're leaving. Sue. Cole dragged his two companions out the door, utterly red-faced, as the Bonebreaker mercenaries howled with laughter behind him. Market District, Spallow's Roost Inn and Tavern. Okay, we gotta stop right here. So, Marlowe definitely has a huge sexual appetite there. I mean, in a way, I kind of like how they just don't give a care in the world about sex and how others who come in there think of it. Like, it's just, they just don't care. They do it casually, and they don't care whether it shocks them, or whether it shocks new people or not. I mean, kind of like that. So far in this story, Sid and Artemi, they're very prudish. Sid, he does not like wearing a loincloth and all that, but that's how it is in a Bonebreaker Mercenary Guild tavern. So anyway, obviously, as you saw, Marlowe hasn't really set up the room yet for Cole's adventuring crew to train yet, but we will see them train with Marlowe soon in the room. So I guess we know why Cole is so cold towards Hamas. And at the beginning, you saw that Cole has a disease that stunts his growth, and he couldn't lift all the heavy equipment that he needs to be a warrior, be an effective warrior, or effective mercenary warrior. So he was barely able to carry the smallest weapon they had there, and that was still heavy for him. And then he broke, I forgot what he broke, but anyway, he broke something on him. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor advised him to seek a different career. And Cole was devastated because he wants to be just like his father. He always wanted to be just like his father, and And I think, like, well, certainly when Hammers told him to basically maybe he should follow a different career path, basically telling him to follow his daughter's advice, that's when Cole got angry with Hammers because he believed Hammers didn't believe in him, and that he was very offended that Hammers got some dogs out here barking. Probably can heal them. Anyway, so he got really offended that Hammers took the doctor's side, and he took that as Hammers not really believing in him. So I guess that's the reason why he's been so cold towards Hammers for all these years. So I understand now. I mean, it still doesn't make it right for Cole to be cold towards Hammers and hostile, but I understand where he got that hostility for Hammers from. Alright, so Cole got to meet Artemi's mother, who's just a horrible, just elitist people, like, dismissing those who are not on their level. He's no different, telling Artemi that she shouldn't be associated with lower people like Cole. He got kind of mad about that. So he used his magic to basically make Artemi's mother sit in her pants. It was funny. In my view, she deserved it, because he was just totally rude to Cole. And I didn't think she would stand up to her mother, but she actually did. Hey, I mean, you can say whatever you want. Well, she didn't stand up to her mother about the way she treats her, but she did stand up to her for Cole. So, well, she may take a lot of crap from her mother about her abilities. She didn't let her mother talk bad about Cole. I mean, he defended Cole, so that's not to see her stand up. Well, she didn't stand up. Well, she might not stand up for herself, but she did. Well, it was nice to see her stand up for Cole. Hopefully, we'll see Artemi stand up for herself eventually towards her mother. So, in the next video, we're going to go see Sid's parents. They're going to meet Sid's new friends here. So, thank you all very much for watching. Bye.